Hey! So I haven't filmed in like 2 or 3 weeks. I was basically on a downer, and I say that with weird joy behind my voice, but it's nice to kind of I feel like I'm kind of out of it now, and I feel like when you're trying to conceive, it's kind of normal to go through your ups and downs. I mean, it is like a roller coaster. So you do go through that. And so I've basically been going through the down part of my roller coaster, um, the downward spiral. It hasn't been bad. I just felt like I needed to take a little bit of time to kind of catch up with work and, things around the house, take my mind off it a little bit before I came in and started talking again. So this is basically a catch up. Okay, so I've been really struggling lately, with the fact of not being able to get pregnant. Sometimes it does take its toll. A lot of the time I can sit here with the camera and it feels like therapy to me. It's actually quite helpful to talk about how I'm feeling and, get it all out there. And for people who may be in the same position as me or may think they are, to watch and relate to me. As I relate to other people. But I just really needed some time. I was really struggling. It was just getting to a point where every time I thought about kids and getting pregnant and, starting a family, it would just make me cry. And that's just not what just talking about it actually makes me quite sad. This wasn't my intention for this video at all. I didn't plan to, get upset, but talking about it, I think it is still quite raw. I'm still living it, so it's kind of, it's just really, really hard, basically. And I think I've spoken to Yas about it a little bit. I haven't really gone into detail. I mean, he's gone back to work now. So a lot of the time I'm just kind of here and, an advert will come on, like a like Clear Blue pregnancy test advert will come on the TV, or, something will pop up. And because everything I do is about trying to conceive, so naturally the ads that come up on my social media and stuff are to do with babies and pregnancies and, infertility and stuff. So it's like everywhere I go, I'm just reminded of it. And when Yas isn't here, I'm reminded of it more because I watch TV more and I do more things where I'm going to see those ads. Whereas when he was here, through lockdown and he was here all the time, it was more, I spent more time with him. So, and he doesn't have ads. So I didn't really see it as much. And I feel like I was just kind of bombarded with ads and just reminders, constant reminders of pregnancy and babies and stuff. And I think I just needed a bit of time out. And Yas, I'll be honest, I'm talking about this now and I haven't even spoken to Yas about crying. I think he knows that I've been kind of not myself. But yeah, I would just cry. And I can't even talk about it without getting upset. Whew. So I have spoken to Yas about the fact that I'm struggling more, and I think I'm struggling more basically because throughout the whole of our trying process, I knew I had PCOS from the beginning. From 2012, I knew I had PCOS, so I knew I was going to have issues. So throughout the whole of our trying process, we've had help from the doctors. Although they did say, you know, try for a year and then we'll intervene. So yeah, we tried for a year, but you know, the first year is just kind of like, you just kind of don't think that you're going to end up here, you know, 3.5 years down the line. So it doesn't really take its toll that much. For me, at least, it didn't. And then after that, you kind of get all your help, and you're constantly in talks with doctors, and you know, you're constantly waiting for an appointment, or you're waiting for surgery, or you're waiting for your medication, or you're in the middle of your medication, or recovering from surgery. Or my whole trying process has been, I've known what's going on. I feel like I was, you know, going in the right direction. And now it's got to the point where, because Yas and I have decided that we wanted to wait, our doctor highly recommends that we just start IVF. But we wanted to wait because I just wanted to make sure I'm like mentally ready for what IVF entails. And I think it's been a year since, sorry, not a year, it's been 11 months, so basically a year since my surgery, and that's the last help that I've had. And I think going a year after everything that I've been through, going a whole year and still not, I mean, I got pregnant, but I didn't, you know, it wasn't a sticky baby. So going a whole year without that kind of help, it kind of makes you think, oh my God, this is just never going to happen for me. And I think what made me even sadder is the fact that I was even thinking that way, because I've always, if anyone that I've spoken to about trying to get pregnant and stuff, I've always almost too much told myself that it's going to happen. I tell myself, like, you are going to get pregnant. This is going to happen for you. You know, this month's your month. And even if it's not, the next month, I tell myself, this month's your month. And I think, like I said, what was upsetting me is the fact that I finally started to think, oh my God, this isn't going to happen for me. So I spoke to Yas, and I just said to him, I don't know what we're doing. We need to come up with a plan, because I feel like we're in limbo. We're just kind of floating about. And I just said to him, I don't know how long I can live like this. It's so difficult. Sorry, I'm getting upset again. Oh, I'm sorry. Trust it to be when I've got all this eyeliner on as well. I'm sorry. I can't even remember what I was saying. Yeah, okay, now I do. So I was saying to Yas, I don't know how long I could do this for, because it's just too difficult to just do this over and over and over again. It's like I'm just living the same thing every single month, and it's really, really hard. I'm really sorry. I didn't think that this video was going to go here. I didn't think I was going to get quite as emotional as I am. I thought it was going to be a you know, a chirpier kind of video, a more joyful video, but it's not. Sorry about that. So yeah, we spoke about it, and he basically said, okay, we'll do IVF. We'll do IVF. We'll give it until January. If we're not pregnant by January, we'll get in touch straight away with our doctor. I was like, okay, that's great. And then I started to get cramps. So the cramps were basically throughout the whole of my cycle. Usually I'd get period pain on the first 3 days of my period. excruciating pain. Then that would go into a mild pain for another couple days, like mild cramps for another couple days. Then it would go completely until ovulation. Then ovulation, I would get cramps, mild cramps. And then depending on my cycle, I'd get like on and off cramps after ovulation. But this month I just kind of had cramps all the time, and they were a little bit more painful than just like mild, more than like a twinge, but they weren't like so painful that I just couldn't go about my day. And it was every day, so I was just like, no, this just won't do. So I emailed my doctor. She organised a phone appointment with me, and she basically said, like I said to her, I don't know, I'm a bit worried because, like, could it be the endometriosis growing back, like that she cut out in November? Is it growing back? Like, what could it be? And she said, well, based on what your surgery was last year and how the endometrial tissue looked, she said, it's highly unlikely that it's growing back. And then she said, it could be, she said, we're going to get you booked in for a scan because it could be, you know, a ruptured cyst or something. So she was like, we just need to make sure that everything's looking fine. So we'll book you in for a scan. But while I was on the phone to her, she was kind of like, what's going on? Like, I really think that you need to start thinking about IVF. And so I just said to her, like, I still want to hold out. And I just said, like, me and Yas had spoken, and we'd said if we weren't pregnant by January, that we were going to get straight in touch with her. And she was like, yeah, that's fine. She was like, it's entirely up to you. Because I just said to her, I know what IVF is, and I really want to avoid it. I'm pretty sure I'm probably not going to be able to avoid it at this stage, but I really want to. So that's what I was saying to her, and she was like, okay, well, there is one more option, but she said we don't do it on the NHS, and that's IUI, which I'd never really heard of. So I looked into it. She said, if you need any, you know, she was like, you and Yas discuss it, decide what you want to do, you know, and then if you need, email me, let me know what you want to do. If you want to go for IVF sooner, if you want to wait for whatever, if you need to know some information on IUI, she's like, I can have an appointment with you to explain your options, but she's like, we don't do IUIs on the NHS. So I was like, okay, that's fine. Me and Yas looked into it, like how much it would cost and stuff. So we're kind of thinking that maybe we'll try IUI first. But we're trying to get an appointment with her so that she can explain it a little bit more, and just tell us, you know, what an IUI is and what it's going to do to me hormonally. Is it going to change anything? I don't know. I don't really even know what it is. But we're willing to give that a try first before IVF. IVF for us is last option. Still waiting for my appointment on that. I don't know when I'm going to get an appointment to talk about IUI and decide if we're going to go for IUI or do IVF now or wait. We're still waiting to talk to her, but she did book me in for a scan. I had my scan yesterday. Yeah, I had it yesterday. And I did do a video just talking about what was said. Okay, so I just got back from the hospital. I have to just talk about something. So I went for my scan. For anyone who's had internal scans, you know how incredibly awkward it can be. But yeah, so I had my scan. And she was pretty much telling me as she was doing it that she can't really see anything to worry about. And then so I asked her, I said, have I still got any cysts or, you know, the empty sac things? I still don't even know what they are with PCOS. I'm just going to call them cysts. But yeah, do I have any of the cysts still on my ovaries? Or how many do I have? I can't remember the question I asked her, but I just said to her, is there a lot? And then she was like, no, why? Have you been told that you've got PCOS? And I was like, yeah, several times. And then she was like, well, due to the new regulations, This blew my mind. Apparently now I don't have PCOS because the new regulations are, I think she said they started a year ago. So they just brought in these new regulations based on PCOS, and it used to be your class is having PCOS if you have 12 cysts or more. Now it's you're only classed to have PCOS if you have 20 cysts or more. Now, seeing as I have, she basically said to me, looking at this, if we're going by the old rules, then yes, you've got PCOS, but with the new rules, you don't. So that basically means that I've got between 12 and 20 and 19 cysts, say. So she was like, so you don't actually have polycystic ovaries anymore. I told her I had surgery, and I said it was for endometriosis. They found the endometrial tissue and they removed it. But I said I also had ovarian drilling, and she said she'd never heard of ovarian drilling before. So I'm like, okay. And this is in the gynecology department, so I'm a bit confused because on my papers and when I spoke to my fertility doctor, I've had ovarian drilling. So I was trying to explain to her what it was, but I was like, because I'm not a doctor, I don't know the scientific way to explain it, or I don't really know the best way to explain it, but I know that it's the removal of the bad parts of the ovary. So it's like the removal of the parts of the ovary that have more testosterone or whatever, something like that. And so I was telling her that, and she's like, oh well, she said in all of my career here at the hospital, I've never heard anyone talking about ovarian drilling. And I was just so confused. I was like, that's very strange. I was like, well, I've had it anyway. And I said, after my surgery, it was in November, they said to me that, everything looks as a normal person should look. After they've removed the endometrial tissue and did the ovarian drilling. She was like, right, okay, I should probably research ovarian drilling then because I've never heard of it. I was like, oh, okay. So I was very confused. So now she's saying, if you've got, say, like 19 or under cysts, you no longer have PCOS. And it's like, okay, so I don't have 19 cysts on my ovaries. I have less. And I don't know if that's due to the surgery or if I've always had less. So that means that now I just have to dismiss all of my symptoms. So all of the symptoms I've spoken about in my other video, do they just disappear now because new regulations came in? I'm confused. That's confused me a lot. So I'm going to do some research and see what it says, because it blows my mind that someone can have, struggle so much losing weight, or, have so much excessive hair, have thinning of the hair, all of the same, painful periods, irregular periods, all of the same symptoms as someone who has PCOS, but now because regulations have changed, does that mean that my symptoms should stop? It makes no sense to me, I'll be honest. So I don't get that. I'll probably, next time I speak to my fertility doctor, I'll probably ask her about it and just say, what's with the new regulations? Do I not have PCOS? So I don't have PCOS anymore, even though I still have cysts and I still have all the symptoms of PCOS. I don't have it because I don't have, I'm a couple cysts less than what the regulations say. And the worst thing is, I wouldn't even mind not being classed as someone who has PCOS, but like I would be happy if they said, "Oh no, you don't have PCOS anymore." But also, I no longer have fertility issues, and I no longer have the excessive hair and hair thinning and struggle to lose weight and spots all the time everywhere. But you're now telling me that I've got all of these things for no reason, and I don't know what's worse. But I'm going to speak to my doctor about it and see what she says, because I've left my scan feeling really confused, and I'll be honest, I didn't expect to feel so confused. I thought I was going to go in there, get a scan, they were going to tell me, what was wrong or what wasn't wrong. and then I was going to leave knowing what was going on, and now I feel really confused. So yeah, as you can see from that video, I'm basically confused. I'm still confused, but once I get an appointment with my fertility doctor, you know, regarding IUI, IVF and stuff, I'll probably bring that up with her and ask her what that's about, and see what she thinks, seeing as she's like a fertility doctor. But yeah, that's pretty much what's been going on with me. As always, if you have any questions or you want to talk, or you just want to let me know that you're there watching, I don't know, then comment down below and let me know. If you like this video, then like this video. And if you want to continue on my infertility journey, then please subscribe to my channel.